and welcome back to another episode of Stoned Out, all you beautiful people. This week, our guest is Patricio Aguilera. I met this guy at a open mic, and we just started talking and whatnot. And then I saw him at a different open mic, and I told him about the podcast, and he was really excited about it and agreed to come on. And we had a very good conversation about comedy, just about life and where he's been. And where he has been absolutely amazes me. And his career path in comedy, and how he views comedy, and how he views different other things. Comedy has given me the ability to meet awesome individuals, and this podcast has given me the ability to meet different individuals. I don't want to say different, but amazing individuals. And this episode, I got a good understanding of comedy, and I really wanted to ask the question, how long does it take you to find your voice in comedy? How long does it take you to get your little niche in comedy, if you will? Excuse me. And, I think it's just a thing that each individual comic is just going to have to find out for themselves. You just got to keep working at it, and you just got to keep getting on stage and developing a sense of your style of comedy. And what an amazing road it's been. So, once again, this is Patricio Aguilera, an amazing comic, has great jokes, has a great stage presence, and I hope you all enjoyed this episode. I'll see you on the next one.
Come away for a year and a day to a place where the sand meets the sea. For your worries, they will fade when you sleep under the shade of the marvelous cannabis tree. Do you ever really want to be free? Sometimes life gets the best of me. We're all waiting for the moment to come. Don't come alone. Well, it's all we ever wanted to be. Paint your picture, you can make anything. We're all waiting for the moment to shine. Don't come alone. I gotta find this place, gotta get away. I can see myself spending all my days, wasting all my time lying in the shade with you. Come away for a year and a day to a place.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Stoned Out. Today's guest is Patricio Aguilera.
Hey, what's up,
How
everybody?
you doing, Patricio?
I'm doing good, man. I'm stoned.
Well, the theme to
Good
this
start.
podcast.
Is that a good start?
So
Can I look at my messages during this podcast, or are you supposed to have?
Yeah, go for
I
it.
don't do very many podcasts, man, so I don't know the etiquette, man, so we'll have to...
Yeah, check your
Totally.
messages.
I don't think it's an emergency, but, Oh, yeah. My daughter's about to have another kid, so...
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, she's kind of old to have a kid in America, I guess.
Yeah.
She's born in 85. I got to do some math right now. 38.
Oh, wow.
38, yeah.
I'm 35. I was 88, so yeah.
Well, that baby's old, like some actors, right? What's his name talks about Robert De Niro having a kid, and
Yeah, like,
Al Pacino.
what is that, 89?
80 something? I don't know. You have
Jesus.
to look it up, see how old they are.
Like,
I don't know.
that is
If
way
you can
too
afford
damn
a kid,
old.
it's not.
That is way too damn
It's
old.
not if you can afford it.
Good point. Good point. Yeah, good point.
Some people got those, low hanging fruit jokes. It's like, who's gonna change both diapers? Shit. You think those guys are wearing diapers yet?
Oh, probably.
All of us are gonna wear diapers if we live long enough. Yeah.
I hope when I get that age, I'm not in diapers.
Yeah, well, my dad's 92. He still don't wear diapers. I probably shouldn't share that, but
Damn, 92?
yeah, he's 92.
Wow.
Old gentleman, man.
Yes, sir.
I don't know. I probably won't live that long. I live a pretty rough life.
Yeah.
And I know, you know, everybody's different, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the Marlboro man life.
The
Smoke
cowboy
cigarettes, yeah. Smoke cigarettes, ride hard, drink. No, I don't really drink hard, but sometimes I do. I'm drinking one tonight. Salute, everybody.
Cheers. So, Patricio, where? Let's start with your story.
What
Where,
part do you want to hear? You're the host. Ask questions.
Where
So
do
what
you?
want?
Where did you start? Where did you come from? How did you get to comedy?
Comedy, I started, the first mics I did was in Springfield, Missouri. I wasn't
nice.
there too long, but that was only a couple of weeks. But then I went to Dallas, Texas, DFW, Fort Worth. Yeah, I did comedy there for like a couple of years.
How's the comedy scene out in Dallas?
It's great, man. It's pretty big. It's pretty good size. I mean, there's, you know, it's a good sized city, so it's a good sized scene. I don't know. I mean, there's a few famous comedians that come out of there, right, Dallas? I don't know very many comedians, so sorry, people. I know a lot of open micers.
But hey, eventually you will know them all.
Yeah. I mean, in the club, I've met a few. You know, working at the clubs, I have worked as a doorman or security, whatever you want to call it, at a couple clubs. I worked at Hyenas as a doorman. I really liked it. Yeah, I mean the Hyenas. I mean, if you got to call it a home club in Dallas, that was my home club. You know, I didn't really go to the improv too much there that they had. I did a little bit. I try to hit as many mics as I can.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like any good comedian should, or stand-up guy.
Yeah, I definitely need to get two more mics.
Yeah, I mean, a goal is 10 a week. My recommendation is 10 a week if you want to be like really super serious about it and see if you can really. I mean, because you got to treat it like a job. I mean, when you really have book shows, it's a contract. You know, you got to show up. You know,
Mm-hmm.
just like any job. You know, and then you got to have a product. So it takes years. I mean, nobody's.
How many years did it like? I've heard.
I think the average is 20. That's just a personal
20.
calculation. Yeah.
Dang. But
Yeah, because
hey,
most headliners that work in the club, you know, I mean, I poll people. You know, I don't know if they know I'm polling them or not, but how long you been doing it? How long you been doing it? You know, like some guys come in the club, you know, I won't say their names. But I've been working at a club here recently. I won't say the name of that one either. But some guys can't sell tickets.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They've been doing it 30, 40 years. They just can't sell tickets. And that's the name of the game, selling tickets. It's not, I mean, of course you got to be funny too. That's part of it.
yeah, whole point of
You
being
got
a
to be
comedian
both.
is
You know, you got to be more than one thing.
yeah,
You know,
making people laugh.
right. You got to be able to make people laugh. They'll be on time, show up, and, you know, sell tickets.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but that's the gap. That's what we're trying to do now, people. Come and buy tickets to my show. I don't care if you see this 5 years down the road. Right now I don't have a show, so come see me at the open mics.
So how many years did it take you to like find your voice? I've heard
Find
a lot
my
of
voice? I don't know, man.
I've heard a lot of comedians talk about finding.
Yeah, I don't
their
know if
voice.
I even have my real voice yet, you know. I mean, I do have a stage presence. I don't really record my set, so I don't really know what I look like to other people. I know what I perceive that goes on, you know. But I've tried to develop a style of conversational comedy. I don't know if it's such a thing exists, but I want to have a conversation with the crowd. That's
Do
what I
crowd
want to
work,
do.
that
Yeah,
kind of stuff?
I mean, they call it crowd work. Sometimes crowd work sounds dirty to comedians because it's filler.
Mm-hmm.
Crowd work is supposed to be filler. It's not supposed to be a set.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because not everybody can do a set. That's all crowd work.
Mm-hmm.
And then some crowds don't talk. It's another thing too. Working in clubs, I noticed some crowds do not want to talk.
Really?
Yeah,
They just want to sit there and laugh?
yeah, they want to be entertained.
Yeah.
They're not there to be part of the show.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a major part of the audience doesn't want to be part of the show. I don't know. How do you've been to a comedy show before?
Yeah, we just I actually worked at a comedy club here for a little bit, and then we just went to the festival down at Rise.
Oh, okay.
We went to that
At
Friday.
Rise. And we can give a shout out to all the open mics here.
Yes, sir.
And do you know the website, the ColoradoComedy.com, where you can look up open mics and
What,
shows?
5280?
It used to be called 5280, but you put in 5280 and they'll take you there. But it's really
Okay.
called comedy dash.
Okay.
Colorado-comedy.com.
Okay.
But yeah, that'll show you all the open mics if anybody's ever interested.
I will
For
put
here
that
and
in
there.
the show
Every-
notes.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm
Put that in the show
going to
notes,
put it in the
link.
show notes.
Yeah, because I mean, every scene you go to, there's a different way to find the open mics. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas has a pretty good Facebook page. Atlanta doesn't really have a page. They do it a few different ways. But Atlanta, I mean, is a great scene. I've been on the Atlanta scene too. It's I consider it one of the best scenes. I don't know. I'm sorry if anybody gets mad at me, but you know, I think Atlanta is. And COVID helped it out because a lot of East Coast comics, you know, were down there, and it's majority black. So a lot of the black comics, and I mean, and to me, they're just better than everybody else. Like everything, the black comics.
Really?
Well, I don't know. Def Comedy Jam put comedy on the map.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was all black comics.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they got their own style, but it's a really good place. I mean, it's Black Hollywood. You know, I mean, R&B singers. It's great. You know, I got a little break there. I was on a YouTube TV show there for a little bit called the Going Live Show.
Oh, really?
Cool. Yeah.
How was that?
It was fun. It was like working on a real set. First and only time I worked on a real set. You know, it was fun. And your little setup here is cool too. Like I told you, as far as podcasts, this is the best podcast studio I've been in so far.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you.
When it gets beat, I'll let you know though. Okay. Now you see some of that, like on some podcasts, they got wireless mics, wireless headphones, but that stuff's got to cost money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Humble beginnings, as I like to call it.
Well, I mean, a lot of us can't even do this. You know what I'm saying? A lot of a lot of people don't have the mind to put this stuff together. You put all this stuff together yourself,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Learn how to edit and produce it and everything.
Yeah, so you're a little bit. You got to be a little bit electronically inclined to plug everything together. You got to have some good computer skills to edit. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and a fast computer, right? Because
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
if you have a slow computer,
It'll
you cut
take
something, and then you're like
buffer. That's all it is. Yeah. So
But that's good, man. I'm really glad I'm here.
Appreciate it. Thank you for coming too.
Yeah. I'm sorry I'm a little bit late, man. I was dragging ass, but I know I did tell you I'd be here, so.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries, man. Okay, maybe we'll do it again and see what's up. But so I mean, what do you think your core listeners are? What do you think they are right now?
Well, I geared this podcast around marijuana.
Marijuana, so.
Right off the rip, and then I took a break for a little bit because it started giving me panic attacks and anxiety attacks. Like I'd wake up just going like nuts.
You think you just had too much weed, or?
Probably. I was just smoking those carts.
I think there is such a thing as too much weed.
Yeah.
Too much of anything, you know what I'm saying?
And it was a morning, noon, and night thing for me there for a while when I first got here. And then now it's starting to become... Now I just kind of want to gear this around, just interviewing people. I really enjoy interviewing people, whether it's smoking weed or drinking beer. So, I mean...
Yeah. I love the bullshit, too. I mean, I really wish... I mean, this is so hard to carry around to the open mics. But at the open mics, you don't know how many great conversations I've had. Like, super, super great. Like, you know you're not going to catch them again.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't even know if you could recreate it in front of this because people are in front of a camera. They might not want other people to hear what they said because sometimes it's some really crazy shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I don't know. One time we just talk about crazy shit and, you know, I daydream a lot. So sometimes I daydream like, what if we were able to regenerate? You know what I'm saying? Like if you had a scar, it would go away.
Or if you got your hand cut off.
Yeah, you got your hand cut off. You know, or you're old and, you know, you want to regenerate your body.
Like a Benjamin Button style thing?
Yeah, but you know, then some dude says, like, what's the side effects?
What would be?
And it's like, yeah, and at first I was like, what kind of side effects could there be if you're, like, growing back healthy?
That is a side effect.
Well,
grow back healthy.
I mean, imagine a woman that had augmented breasts. The side effect would go back to normal.
That is true. Or had breast cancer.
Had breast cancer. Well, yeah, then it grows back, right? That's a good thing, though.
Yeah.
But what about all of us? All the men would get, you know, their foreskin would grow back. You know?
Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Like a mole that got cut off or something would grow back.
Yeah, the mole you got.
Yeah.
You know.
Ooh.
Then you got to get recircumcised. You're 150 years old. 150 years old. Got to get recircumcised.
Like, I've got this thing cut off 4 times.
Yeah. You're 600 years old. Yeah. I've been circumcised 4 times already.
Sons of bitches.
Yeah. I don't know what. No, but I do like movies like that. Did you ever see that movie In Time with Justin Timberlake?
Good time. In time.
In Time.
Yeah, I actually just
Yeah.
watched it. That was a really good movie.
Yeah, it's really interesting about how, it kind of shows you how money works though too. Money, and I mean that was kind of, I think, part of the point of the movie. It's like whoever
Time is
controls the
money.
money,
Controls the time.
well, controls life in general. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Those guys strive really hard to control all that wealth. They're able to do it, and I mean, you got to have a super. I mean, somebody's got to do it for one thing. Imagine if nobody was running the world, man. Where would we be? We'd be tribes still. If nobody organized it and said, "Hey, let's try the world, make the world work together."
I think you would
Instead of
have.
saying, "Fuck it."
I think you would have like groups of the world saying, "Hey, we're not going to be a part of this craziness. We're just going to do ourselves. You guys have your own thing, go crazy, but don't fuck with us."
Right.
You know what I mean? And then the rest of the world could possibly just be an outlaw world. What's that? Is that Mad Max?
Yeah, like
Like a Mad Max kind of thing?
I don't know, man. I maybe. I don't think governments would go that. I don't think smart people would allow that.
People are dumb. A person is smart.
Right.
So I mean,
So there'd be certain people would be like, "Hey, we got millions and millions of people. I need to take advantage of that." That's why I don't think there has to be a balance, and I think they know that, because if they go too far, then we get together and we do a revolution and take everything from them.
yeah. I mean,
it's happened before.
people get so sick of their shit,
Yeah.
or they get sick of our shit.
Right.
You're right. It's a balance.
It's a balance. Yeah, because I mean, if you're starving in the streets, I mean, you're gonna rebel. And especially if there's no reason for it.
Mm-hmm.
Because now there's no reason for it. I don't think there's ever a reason for humanity to go, especially like places like the United States or Europe. A lot of places in Europe, Asia. I don't think we can go back in the dark ages.
No, it'd be very hard.
I think it would be very hard. It's a nice dream, though.
Just kind of hit the
Nice
reset
story.
button on
Yeah.
all the electronics go out.
Right. I mean, it's because some people want that. But they don't realize it doesn't matter even if you didn't have that, you're still going to have problems. So you might as well learn how to deal with your problems. Okay, learn how to deal with your problems.
Deal with them, focus on them,
I
make them
can't
better.
tell you how to be specific. Find somebody that There's certain ways. There's certain, just like anything has a comedy. Everything has a cookie cutter pattern. And that's the only word I can lost for words. But if you follow these steps, I mean, they really do help.
Yeah, and like you said, with everything, whether you want to be an architect or engineer,
gotta
there's
take
always
those steps.
there's that track that you have to follow.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to get well, there's tracks. If you can't, well, I guess it was the cards you were dealt. But like these poor homeless people. I know people in this world that don't work and they have everything they need.
Mm-hmm.
So
And they're happy as a clam.
right. Well, and then there's people, like say the homeless people, they don't have what they need.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason is because they're missing something. Like they don't even have IDs, a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? So even if they wanted to get welfare and food stamps, they couldn't. Yeah. So
Yeah.
a lot of them do because they get their IDs, they go apply for the stuff. They say I'm homeless, But a large majority of them don't. They just don't have it together enough to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So those people, they can't get well. I don't think you can give them a magic pill and be all of a sudden.
No, it takes a lot of hard work to get them back to like being a
Right.
functioning member
and it's
of
not
society.
right. I don't think it's right to lock them up in facilities either. So if they can survive on the streets, I guess, or if they die, a lot of them die on the streets.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of that, did you know Iowa's the quickest donation spot in the United States? Like if you need a kidney, the list is like 6 months long. Anywhere else is like 2 years.
No shit.
Excuse me.
Where is the
Iowa.
Iowa?
People move to Iowa. I met a couple of people that moved to Iowa just because the donor list the list is shorter.
Yeah.
And, the average is shorter of getting organs over there.
Really?
Yeah.
I
And
wonder why Iowa?
well, this is what we thought, because the homeless people freeze to death in the wintertime.
Oh.
They have plenty of organs.
Can't say you're wrong.
It was a sick theory we had. Iowa, if it's true, I guess go
Oh
for
shit! Definitely got a good market.
it. Yeah. If you need some body parts, go to Iowa.
I think my dog just.
Their homeless don't survive the winter.
Hell no, this past winter here, this was my first winter here, and it was cold as fuck.
Yeah, I heard it got like a -17 or something, or -20 or something around here.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I grew up in New Mexico. I was in New Mexico during that same period when it got cold here. Iowa was really cold. When I left, it was like -11.
Mm-hmm.
But when I landed in Roswell, it was still 20 degrees. And for Roswell, that's really cold. I mean, they're just like 40, 50 in the wintertime, you know. It's a nice warm place.
So where did you start getting on stage?
I started, like I said, Springfield, and then we'll run through all the ways, the history, right? If I can remember in order. Springfield for a couple of weeks, Dallas a few years, then Atlanta probably like a year. And then after Atlanta, I was in, I went back to Dallas for a little bit, a few months. Then Huntsville, Alabama, I was there for a month. I did some
How's the
stage time
comedy
there.
scene down in Alabama?
That one's smaller, but there's some
Yeah.
guys out there. I mean, they got a comedy club, so they need openers and headliners. So there's a little scene.
Mm-hmm.
Funny people out there. I can't remember any of y'all's names, but if I looked y'all up on Facebook, I would. But I got a lot of friends all over the place. Like I said, I'm horrible with names. Like I don't really, off the top of my head, I don't really remember anybody's names in none of the scenes I've been in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'd really have to like start focusing. For some reason, name recall is really hard for me.
Yeah, I'm great with faces, but terrible with names.
Yeah, I'm terrible with
I'm
names.
always like, hey, pal. Hey,
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I will remember, I do know people's names. It's just putting them together, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're the same way, but some people I really don't know their name or don't remember them. But, I mean, some of my best friends, I've forgotten their names for. I mean, I'm like, oh, shoot, I've known him for years. What's this guy's name, you know, or this girl's name? But, yeah, those are some of my problems. I got a lot of problems. We'll talk about those some other time. But, but after Huntsville, I went back to Dallas for a little while. And then after that, I was in Iowa. But when I was in Iowa, I used to still travel a little bit. I would go to Chicago. I went to some open mics there, only a couple times. And then also in Kansas City a few times. I'll try to hit as many scenes as I can. Meet as many comics as I can. You know, I think that's part of the key of it. I also get to see different scenes, what the different crowds are like.
Mm-hmm.
You know, comparatively. Denver's pretty cool. I mean, you guys get a decent crowd here. I would say as much as Dallas. But Iowa, I mean, I think they got more audience per capita than anywhere else.
Really?
Yeah, because they're a small city, but I mean, they're still, even at a small open mic, there was like 5, you know, people there that aren't comedians.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but, and the bigger open mic, there's probably like 40 to 60. I mean, customers. I want to call them customers now. Because I don't get words jumbled up. But audience members. But the drug vein, the main vein drug of comedians.
Iowa?
No, audience members.
Oh, audience members. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know if
I'm brand new to the comedy scene.
Yeah, so I don't know, you know, so how many mics have you done? You think?
5 so far.
5 so far, okay. So out of the 5 you've done, how many times have you got to go up when there's more people that are audience members, or you haven't been able to tell the difference yet?
I haven't been able to tell the difference yet.
Okay.
I feel like there's been more comedians than there has been audience
Yeah,
members.
yeah. Most of the time there is. There's more comedians than audience members. But they'll say it, and like at one of the clubs in, I hate this club, but I'm going to give you all a shout out, Teehees.
Tiki's?
Teehees in Des Moines, Iowa. I don't know why I hate it. I don't know. To me, it's just the energy. I'm an energy person, and that place just doesn't have a comedy energy to me. You know what I'm saying? The owners, you guys need to do something. If y'all ever hear this, or somebody tell them. I mean, I don't know. It's just it's a comedy bar. It's not a comedy club.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in my opinion, in order to be a real club, you got to have. And Joe Rogan doesn't agree, but they said. I heard another comedian mention that in one of his sets, but that in Joe Rogan's club they don't serve food.
Really?
Yeah, because it's a distraction. You know, people are eating, they're not focusing on the comedy.
Okay.
The comedians will see a plate go by and they'll be like, instead of, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a distraction. It is a distraction, but I mean, there's a lot of distractions in the comedy world. That's why you go to bar mics to, you know, if you can't handle distractions, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like a comedian's job
Yeah.
is to always stay focused on what you're doing.
Right.
So I mean, no matter what happens,
Yeah, it's easier if there's no distractions, right?
yeah,
I mean,
like I could do comedy right here in my living room. In
yeah,
front,
I mean,
you know.
but I'm the type of comic where just I use distractions. You know what I'm saying? I welcome them. I want them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it's better for my comedy. But I mean, I don't know. Every comedian is different. Some comedians don't want the crowd to say anything except they don't want to do anything except laugh.
Mm-hmm.
You know. I don't
That's
know
kind
what
of where I'm at, like trying to find what I like to do on
Yeah.
stage, and I guess how the crowd reacts to what I'm saying.
I like a rowdy crowd. I mean, I want them to listen to me, but I mean, I want to also grab their attention too. You know what I'm saying? If
Mhm.
they're not listening to me, it's my job to grab their attention if I can.
Mhm.
You know, as I've been trying to learn ways to do that. But that's really when it's not your audience. I mean, when so I worked at the comedy clubs, like I said, and so let's just talk about like comics that can't sell tickets. The audience differ from show to show.
Mhm.
A comedian that sells tickets, it's his audience. They came to see his type of stuff, his type of comedy, whether it's clean, dirty, whatever it may be. You know. So if one of the comedians before him is kind of clean, the audience won't like him. You know what I'm saying? If it's dirty and the comedian they came to see was clean, they won't like him. You know? Sometimes, occasionally, they'll like the opener and feature better than the headliner. You know. Because they just came to be entertained. They didn't come to see the style of the comedy that headliner does. So, but yeah, man, I don't know. I've learned a lot of stuff in comedy. A lot of stuff. I don't know if I'm going to put it to good use and make any money off of it, but
You're a great comedian. I love all
I
your open
appreciate
mics that I've seen.
yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I do. I mean, I do think about my jokes a lot. I'm always trying to make them better. And you know, some of the jokes I've been working on. I mean, I've had them since the beginning. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like I wrote the first joke I wrote was just trying to get my name. You know, introduce myself and say my name. But I guess they say, you know, in open mics you're not supposed to waste your time and say your name.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so not every open mic I go and say my name, but I did make that a part of my set because. When I talk a lot, so, and when people are coming in, I talk to them, and when they're leaving, I talk to them, and when they're leaving, I ask them, hey, how'd you like the show? And a lot of people be, oh yeah, I like that one guy. What was his name? I don't know.
Yeah.
But he had this joke about this, that, and that. I was like, I don't know his jokes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know his name. I mostly know who they were talking about. It would be like the first guy, the second guy, middle, the last guy. I'd figure out who they were talking about, but. I mean, that gave me the thought. When you do a show, you need to say your name. You know?
Mm-hmm.
You have to say your name. You have to introduce yourself. You know, the hey, what's up? I mean, it's half a second. That's good enough, you know, or something like that. I don't spend forever. And then, getting to know people. Like I said, it's a cookie cutter thing, I think, you know. The audience getting to know you. You know, if they already know you, then it's another thing, you know. Just take off. Because then they already know where you're gonna go. You know where you're gonna go. You know, when you do open mics, I don't know where I'm gonna go. I don't know. A lot of people have their shit in order before they get up there, but I don't. I don't know where I'm gonna go. I wait to see how they're gonna react, and then.
Do you have a few kind of jokes that you just throw out there to see how the crowd reacts?
I mean,
and then go.
Yeah, well, it's more like subjects. I got my main subjects. I've learned to do mine in subjects. I mean, I'll do. Like the whole introduction thing is more like to get into talking about Mexicans, you know. That's why, I'm like, say my name because it has a Mexican sound. Then I'll do the little Mario thing, so, that way it's like, well, maybe it's Italian, but then also, no, I'm Mexican, but, and that's why I talk a little bit about Mexicans, how they're supposed to work hard, how, this and that. That's my basic setup right now. It'll get different as I get on, but right now that's the opening to my like a 45-minute set. You know what I'm saying? Get that, I talk about that, then I go into like marriage. You know what I'm saying? Or drugs, whichever comes first. No. But then I go into drugs, and then I talk about friends and drugs. And then then I try to close it off with family. So,
Mm-hmm.
but that's kind of my thing. And the mics is different. The mics, I might pick one subject, drugs or marriage or friends or, because I've gotten to the point where I have 15 minutes of jokes at least in every area. Some areas maybe like 30 minutes of jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that they're all good, but at least I got a good hour. I think that's really good and solid. It's taken me 5 years to build it.
What's the longest that you've done?
Probably like an hour.
An hour?
Yeah, I had 2 shows in Roswell. I think the first show I did like an hour. The second show, I just kind of hosted it and did maybe like 25 minutes. I hosted it, did 25 minutes. I kind of opened so I can kind of get out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
But I did like 25 minutes, and then, the other comics went up, and this other dude closed it out. But I thought he was going to do an hour at the end of the show. He only did like 25 minutes. I don't know. I guess he lost the crowd or something and got off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I was outside getting fucked up because that show was more like a party in Roswell, New Mexico. If you guys ever in Roswell and we're having a show up, it's fucking blast, all right? Bring your own drugs. But yeah, no, I do joke a lot about drugs. I do talk about going to prison too. I've been in prison. That was a wild ride. I've always been a believer. You do the crime, you do the time.
Mm-hmm.
I did the crime. I did the time. Finished my stuff out. But yeah, prison's not fun. Everybody knows that. So don't go. No, not really. You just can't control yourself. It's not a conscious choice you make where you're like, oh, I want to go to prison. You take these risks, and one of the risks is going to jail. But there's a reward, money, and you keep on doing these things, And what sucks about me is I think I know better. I know better. I know how to live my life regular. I've lived my life regular for the past, 5 years, or try to keep it regular. Try not to sell drugs, try not to, get into that kind of stuff. Because, using drugs, they're not really trying to throw you in prison for using drugs. It's not that I use that much drugs, but I do enjoy recreational.
Mm-hmm.
The thing I do probably addictively is marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know I'm a marijuana addict. I proved it to myself.
Yeah, I am a huge fan of marijuana. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, well, I'm one of the few that can't quit probably without treatment, and I'd have to want to quit. Like any addiction, you have to want to quit before you can do it. And I don't want to quit marijuana yet. But yeah, I know that because I've been in prison and smoked marijuana. I'm not the only marijuana addict, but you got to be an addict to be using drugs in prison. Whatever drugs they are, cigarettes, whatever. But to get them in, people do it to make money. But part of it is too because they're addicts. They want to support their habit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I was in easy prisons. I wasn't in no max or super max like that. That's crazy. So, my cousin. Have you? Oh, don't talk about me. I just did. Too late.
Ears burning?
I guess. I don't even know how. Yeah. No, but I live with her. She's really cool. She's a twin. We'll talk about her some other time. I joke about her on stage. She's gotten me a lot of laughs. She's not there when I talk, but she's gotten me a lot of laughs. One time she called me when I was on stage, and it went good. I'm able to pull some stuff off on stage. But the thing about, I don't know why it popped back in my head, but the thing about the voice, like I said, I don't think I've really truly found my voice yet. I know I got one. I know it's there. I know I'm comfortable up there, that a lot of people don't know how much that helps of just being up there and being comfortable.
That's a big thing for me right now is getting comfortable because I'm a welder. So I just stick to my little area and don't talk to anybody. So actually getting out on stage now and getting in front of people and trying to make them laugh has been a challenge for me.
Yeah, what helps me get comfortable, is I think the criminal side of me, because I don't know, I've never shoplifted. But say if you shoplifted, you got to actually walk past this place like if you're not shoplifting.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to like not be nervous. In other words,
Act like you're not doing anything wrong.
Yeah, and that's kind of the same thing on stage.
Mm-hmm.
Act like you're not doing anything. You're just doing the same thing you do every day.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you don't talk to nobody, that's the same thing. You don't want to do that same thing every day.
Yeah.
Nah, but excuse me. But yeah, it's and I love to talk, man. I've always been, I guess, an attention seeker, people pleaser. I in the third grade, I had a psychological evaluation because when I was getting swatted, it was at a Catholic school, and I told the nun, because she was a nun, I told her, "Thank you, mother. May I have another?"
Swatted?
Yeah, after she swatted me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like she gave me a swat for getting in trouble in class.
She gave you she wanted to give you a psych value?
Yeah, because she thought it was sexual. She didn't know nothing about the movie.
Oh, fucking cat or
I think it's Animal House.
Animal House. That's right. Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Kevin
I
Bacon.
told her, "Thank you, mother. May I have another?"
She probably looked at you like, what
She
the
did.
fuck?
She was gonna give me another swat, and it was like, first one was a good swat. Through my tears, I'm like, "Thank you, mother. May I have another?"
Like, oh,
And then she's like,
he's gonna be.
"What
a
did you say?"
comedian.
"Thank you, mother. May I have another?" She's just like, "Go over there." And I sat there like for 2 hours not knowing what's going on. But I guess I freaked her out. That was her own subconscious bullshit, fucking dirty ass mind.
Yeah, she took it to the gutter. First.
Yeah, she took it to
Yeah.
the gutter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Women too, when a man want to buy you a drink, you're like, "What, you think I'm gonna fuck you?" You're the one that took it there.
Mm-hmm.
You're the one like, "No,
We're
I'm
just trying to be nice, ladies.
Yeah.
We're just trying to be
No,
nice.
some guys are trying to get in your panties, but if you were gonna give them the panties, just let them know, man. Don't be all this bullshit trying to get out. Say, "Yeah, I want to fuck."
Yeah, don't get on your high horse.
Yeah, and if you don't want to fuck, say you don't want to fuck. I'm not interested. And guys, if a girl tells you she's not interested, move on.
No
There's other
means
girls.
no. No means no.
Yeah, don't say I got a husband, I got a boyfriend. Just say I'm not interested.
Mm-hmm.
That works a lot better. That's straightforward. This other shit, what a guy hears when you tell him you gotta. I mean, like guys that are chasers, when they tell them that "Oh, I got a husband, I got a wife," it just makes it more of a challenge to them.
Mm-hmm. Everybody wants what they can't have.
Yeah. It's like now I got a challenge. Now there's something I can do.
Mm-hmm.
So ladies, don't tell them that. Say I'm not interested.
Keep it very vague.
Yeah, don't be vague and say I got a boyfriend, or how many people cheat on their husbands and wives? Yeah. I'm not interested. That's the word of the month.
I'm not interested.
But yeah, I mean it is sometimes I do think about, I was talking to my cousin about this earlier. The shit hot chicks have to go through, man. You know what I'm saying? Of guys constantly trying to get their attention, tell them that they can do better than their man they're with, I don't know. If you find somebody you love, try to make it work out. If they're being a piece of shit to you, leave them. Sex is important.
Sex is important.
In a relationship, I think it is for most people. If you find a relationship, I mean, that's what you got to talk about. If sex isn't important to you, and then you need to find a person that sex isn't that important to them if you're going to be in a relationship. Because I think being in a relationship helps you grow. It definitely makes things easier. It's not for everybody. Obviously. Some of us want it. It's just like some people want kids. Some people don't want kids, Me personally, I never really wanted kids. I did a little bit, but I never wanted kids. I mean, I have kids. I have one kid and 4 stepkids. But, and I love them all the same.
I think you're right. Relationships do help you grow and help you to find the person or the person you want to be in that
Right.
relationship too.
A lot of people get lucky and they meet the right person, and they stay with them their whole lives, Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I guess if you're out there searching, keep on going, and don't give anybody your body count.
Yeah.
Lie about it.
Keep that to yourself.
I'm a virgin. You got 5 kids? Or
Hey,
somebody else's.
Virgin. Look at the Virgin Mary.
Yeah. Nah, but for reals, I mean, don't let them know you're lying, but don't. I mean, and don't ask nobody. Don't ask somebody what their body count is. What I mean, it's who cares?
It doesn't like it,
You know, it's not zero.
obviously.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a couple people at zero, but I don't know. I know one person, a guy, and I mean, and there's nothing wrong with it, but I think he's almost a 40-year-old virgin. I gotta see how old he is. You don't have a camera behind me, do you?
No.
He's a good friend of mine, man. He's another comedian, and sometimes people try to get him laid, but he doesn't want to get laid. You know what I'm saying? It's not.
Yeah,
If he wanted to get laid, he could have already. You know.
I find that very admirable. If he doesn't want to do that and wants to
Yeah,
hold out and
it's-
that kind of stuff, like, good for him.
Yeah, it's.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Let me type this in here. Yeah, he's pretty. I mean, me and him have become pretty good friends. He's another comedian. He moved out here, man.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he did.
Where's he
moved
living
out
at
here.
now?
He moved back to Dallas. He works for a company that shall not be named because they got too much power.
Oh, one of those guys.
Yeah, but they got offices here and they got offices in, all over the United States. Let's see what it says: his birthday, education, contact info. Yeah, 1985. So we're 2023. So that makes him 38.
Oh, really?
2 more years, David, and you'll be. Oh, I said his first name. 2 more years, David, and you'll be a 40-year-old virgin.
If you want. I can cut that out. if you
No,
want
he's,
to.
David's good enough. I don't care if he hears it. I just don't want to put his name out there. His business so far out there that everybody knows it.
Hang on there. 2 more years, man. 2 more years.
Yeah, it's 2 more years. But he's got a tragic story. You know what? He'd be good to be having a podcast, man, because he's got a really tragic story. Mine, I made tragic. You know, my parents were great to me. I mean, they took care of me. My dad did drink a little bit, but he didn't get like super crazy. Of course, you know, when you get drunk, some shit happens, arguments or whatever you want to call them.
Mm-hmm.
But, he never abandoned us, never. It was just me and my mom and him, so. He did leave a family before. I don't know what the circumstances were there, but, I know as far as for me, he took care of me and still does to this day if he could. I mean, if my parents could have, they would have had me at home taking care of me my whole life. But, I wanted to be gone. I started leaving the house as soon as I could, even before I was 18. And it wasn't because my parents were bad to me, but I didn't think of it as running away. I used to think of it as leaving and being on my own.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess the law calls it running away.
Yeah.
If you're under 18, you can't leave.
There's nothing wrong with wanting to get out there and view the world, see what it's all about.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to be on my own ever since I was young. I mean, I felt I could take care of myself. I couldn't, obviously, because, like at 14, 15 years old, you can't even really get a job that you can, support yourself with.
Mm-hmm.
I tried, but it didn't work out. I had to break the law.
Ooh.
Yeah, you can survive. You can survive breaking the law for a little while until they catch you. The law will come for you. But yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I do respect the law. I got the respect for them, but but I don't know. How long you usually record, man?
About an hour.
About an hour? Okay.
Yeah. So I
I
mean,
got 20 more minutes then. I can sit here and talk forever. It's just, I do want to hit those mics. I signed up for the Irish Rover already.
yeah.
And then I'm going to go to the Lions there. And I still have a full-time job too, so. The whole time I've been doing comedy, I've kept a full-time job, so. It's just, stand-up doesn't pay well. What attracted you to stand-up?
My dream was always to be a comedian or a drummer.
Okay.
And
Right now you're doing both.
I'm trying. I got the practice pad sitting out here, and had a kit back in Ohio. Then I moved out here to Colorado, and now I'm getting into comedy and decided to start building this podcast.
And how old are you?
35.
Okay, I'm 49. So I started comedy when I was 45. So, or was I 44? I guess I was 44. I was about to turn 45. It's been 5 years this month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think actually this is the week anniversary of my 5 years. I don't remember the exact date.
Man.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been a long road, man. It's been a long road, man. Comedy's a long road. Okay, if you're really young and you think you're really talented, go to LA or New York. maybe Austin, but LA or New York.
Austin's starting to become a pretty big scene now. All
Yeah,
those
I mean,
comics are moving out there.
You could. Well, here's the thing about that right now. You know, you're still not getting any work from being there. And when the comedians moved to Burbank, when Johnny Carson did, they were getting work off after they went on Johnny Carson. And right now, you get some work for going on Rogan, but you don't get guaranteed work like you did on Carson. Carson, you got on Carson, you had guaranteed work. You know, what's his name? Freddie Prinze went on Carson when he was really young, like 18 years old. Boom, within the next year, he was already had his own sitcom. You know, so it works. There's not a show like that right now. Jimmy Kimmel, the original Tonight Show with whatever his name is. They used to be on Saturday Night Live.
Fallon?
Yeah, Fallon.
Yeah.
You know, if you go on his show, I mean, I don't even think they're bringing new comedians, are they?
I have not seen a comedian
right?
on there in a long time,
Right.
actually, yeah.
It's more of a variety show now than
Yeah, they do like little games and have
Right,
major
right.
celebrities on there, but that's
yeah,
really about it.
and they plug stuff still. I mean, that was the
Yeah.
main thing. It changed a little bit, but they adapted it for the new world. But there's no show like that right now, where a comedian could go on and then in a couple of weeks he's getting booked all over the country, and you know he's got a new sitcom or he's on a movie or.
Well, Steve Martin did it too.
Who's that?
Steve Martin, didn't he go on the Johnny Carson?
Yeah, I mean almost all Eddie Murphy. I mean almost all the 70s and 80s comedians. Sam Kinison.
I bring up Steve Martin because in the comedy class she showed us a reel of Steve Martin being on a Johnny Carson show.
Okay. Yeah, he's a real. I mean, he's a lot of actors started doing stand up. The reason they didn't stay doing stand up is because acting pays more. You know, if you can make, I know they get paid way more than this, but if you can make $5 million for one movie, you know, say 3 months, you can't make $5 million. I don't know. Some people would disagree with me. Like if you're selling out stadiums, maybe, but beyond if you're doing improvs, comedy works, hyenas, I mean, you might be able to get $250,000 a year, maybe $2.5 million. I don't know.
It seems like comedy is that
300,000.
entertainment or art form that you do it because for the love of it.
Right. Stand up, you mean, not
Stand
comedy,
up.
because there's other forms of comedy.
Stand up.
Yeah.
Being a
'Cause
stand
a
up.
sitcom, you know, situation comedy, variety show, a lot of comedy in a variety show, you know. But that's what that Going Live show was. It was a variety show. But yeah, I mean that comedy has been stagnating because you know of the politically correct movement. You know, not.
The cancel culture.
Well, I mean, the cancel culture a little bit. I think the cancel culture is going to get recognized for what it is. It's just another form of hate. You know, I understand boycotting is a good thing, but you got to use like any weapon. You know what I'm saying? You got to use it wisely. You know, just canceling somebody because they're making fun of you, that's not cool. Now, if they're degrading you, saying they don't think you should exist. Yeah. But if they say, oh, you know, look, it's a chick with a dick. Isn't that funny? You know, it's a dude with tits, you know, whatever you want to say, or, you know, that's gay, you know. For so many years, people said that's gay, and now a lot of people get offended when you say, oh, that chair's gay.
Yeah.
You know.
It's you got to hush up with that kind of stuff.
But I mean, it's, I see the point too. You know, I was talking with this one girl in Des Moines, Iowa, and she said she had organized a rally because Des Moines introduced a bill to ban gay marriages. And, you know, of course, you know, it's like, hey, they organized a protest, they went and did it. And I happened to run to Teehees. And we started talking, and when I've gotten this is what winds up happening is, and this is my opinion, like, the LGBT, not all of y'all, LGBTQ, have become heterosexual bashers. And a lot of gay people or other sexualities are heterosexual bashers. Just like there's gay bashers, there's heterosexual bashers. There's haters on both sides. You know, and what I think is, and one side wants to take the other side's voice. It's like, in my opinion, no, let's not take anybody's voice. You can say whatever the heck you want. You can be, if you want to be racist, you can be racist. If you want to be gay, you can be gay. You know what I'm saying? As long as you're not taking, your gayness and raping somebody or whatever, you know what I'm saying? As long as you're not taking your, homophobia and killing a gay person or hurting a gay person, I still think you should have the right to be homophobic if you want to be, If you want to hate heterosexuals, you can hate heterosexuals too, just as long as you're not hurting anybody. You have the right to feel however you want. I think we're put on the earth to feel however we want it. Now, if something inside of us will change, be like, hey, maybe I shouldn't have so much hate. But if you're born with hate, you got to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? It's a problem.
Hate's baggage.
Yeah.
It's
some people are born without hate. You
Yeah.
know? They don't understand hate. But if you're born with hate, but I guess if you want to have, I don't know if George Lucas was trying to teach us something, but he taught me there is a balance to life. They call it the balance to the force.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I say that is because, look, check out somebody like a crackhead that's doing all these crackhead moves like they call. Their life is fucked up. It's like instant karma, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They're not living in a mansion. They're not living, driving nice cars. You know what I'm saying? And not everybody that does good things are living in mansions and living nice cars. But I think most people that are, they do give back,
Mm-hmm.
Most people that are living good like that, they give, But not all of us, I can't, it's hard for me to find it in my heart to give, you know what I'm saying? I just don't like to give,
I started with it it
I
was
tried,
for me
but,
too.
yeah.
When I first started doing the giving back thing, it was the small things to pay it forward. So I
Yeah.
paid for somebody's McDonald's order behind me. That's where I started with it.
Yeah.
And I started, you could donate to certain charities that
Yeah,
you
and
like.
it always doesn't have to be money. It
Yeah.
could be your...
Opening the door for
Right.
somebody.
That is something I have done is, like sweat equity or whatever, help somebody move, help somebody change a flat tire, help this, that. I do that stuff, but just the money part is the thing I just have a hard time giving away money.
Mm-hmm.
I give it away to like family members or whatever, friends here and there, but to just somebody I don't know, I have a hard time giving away money. I do have that in my heart that you should earn everything you get, but I realize some people don't have it in them. Like we were talking earlier, the homeless people.
Mm-hmm.
Those people just don't have it in them to
In
earn
some way
their
or
living.
in some way, shape, or form, I do believe that if you do give that away, you will get it back.
Yeah,
Tenfold, too.
yeah, more or less. You probably will. You probably will. It's just like I say. It's hard to donate your time. It's hard to donate anything.
Mm-hmm.
Donate your time, your old clothes, your old, Hoarders have a house full of shit they could just donate. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
They could just donate it. It's just I don't know. We're all weird. I got my hang-ups. I love smoking weed. We won't talk about the women or the drugs
You consider
right now.
smoking weed a hang-up?
When you can't quit, yeah.
Okay.
You understand when you're at work and you can't go your whole shift without smoking weed?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a hang-up.
Okay, I can
You know
agree
what
on
I'm
that. Yeah.
Cigarettes, smoking cigarettes and nicotines could be hang-ups. They're small hang-ups. But that's another hang-up. And not all of us have, but people that, use stuff. Because if you don't, not that it's easily accomplished, but, if you could put nothing into your body and only good stuff and train, that doesn't mean you're going to be happier, but at least your body is like, say, you're doing your full potential.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to be built that way. Not everybody's body knows how to eat the right amount of calories.
Mm-hmm.
There's people that they're not hungry when they don't need no food, and they're hungry when they need food.
Mm-hmm.
No more, no less. And there's people that fucking are never hungry. They don't have no muscles, no nothing. Because they don't have no food to build on. And then you got the people that overeat because it doesn't turn off.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe in spectrums, man. That's one of my spectrums. The amount of hunger you have. A lot of people have zero hunger, and other people 100% hunger.
Mm-hmm.
They could just sit there, chain eat from the time they wake up to the time they sleep.
Oof.
Yeah.
I don't. For a while there, I was a big binge eater. Like I was a bored eater, depressed eater. Like I ate my feelings.
Yeah.
And I got up to 400 pounds, believe it
wow.
or not.
Wow.
And then one day I just saw myself in the mirror. I was like, I got to change this shit.
No.
So
What do you think made you not? So you would be hungry and you'd be binging, or you wouldn't even be hungry?
I wouldn't even be hungry.
Okay.
I would just be sitting around playing video games and just would eat a whole Little Caesar's pizza to myself.
Yeah. See, I mean, that's me some of the times. After I've already ate a lot, that'll be, because I'm not even hungry anymore. I'll still be eating, but for a long time though, I will be hungry unless I'm super stuffed. I'm almost always hungry. You know what I'm saying? Like even right now, I got a little bit of hunger, but it's not strong. But sometimes, of course, with the weed, it gets stronger. But I'm one of those people where if I'm eating just the amount of, because I've calorie counted and ate like 2,500, 3,000 calories a day. If I eat 3,000 calories a day, I'm still hungry.
Is your metabolism real high?
I mean, I never thought it was, but when I started counting calories and realized how many calories I ate, yeah, it's pretty damn high. I mean, like some days I eat 6,000, 7,000 calories in a day, So eating that many calories, I mean, I don't know, when you were 400 pounds, did you ever count the amount of calories you ate in one day?
No.
Yeah. I mean, I would imagine it'd be like 8,000 or 9,000 if you really got down and started counting them, you know what I'm saying?
If I count,
some of the days.
I
not
always
every
counted
day.
carbs. I always picked my carbs because, especially when I tried to lose all the weight, like I just ate 0 carbs.
Yeah, 0 carbs.
So the body just burned all of my fat off.
Yeah, well, I mean it's hard on your liver though.
I wanted
you'll have to find.
I wanted it off.
Yeah, you'll have to find out in 20 years if you get cirrhosis from it or not.
Yeah, hey,
You still eat that way, or you mix it up now?
No, I definitely enjoy my breads now.
No, yeah, I mean, I believe it. I mean, I took this really great class when I was in prison. It was a health and nutrition class, and the teacher was really great. He was really great. He was the head of the rec department there, and he was really knowledgeable, and he really had investigated the stuff before he told us the stuff. But he investigated it because that was made up by some guy Atkins, right? That was like the
Atkins diet.
Yeah,
now it's called the keto diet, and I'm sure it has a new name.
Yeah, because it switched a little bit because he changed it a little. I mean, his was had high fat too, and the keto diet is a lower fat, high protein diet, where his is like you can eat as much fat as you want. But I mean, when they investigated it, the reason is you burn the fat is because your liver's working, so it uses more energy. It's almost like working out because you're making the liver overwork. But as long as you don't do it too long, I don't think there's really any bad side effects to it.
No, I think there's a good healthy balance. So like when I lost a lot of weight, lost about 200 pounds, through the 200 pounds, I started reintroducing carbs. So I started reintroducing breads and pasta just so it wasn't a complete and total shock to the body.
Right.
And then now I eat all the carbs I want.
Did you exercise too during this period, or?
No.
No?
I stayed very active at work. I was in Ohio. I was a welder too. So that helped a lot, being in the heat and just sucking all the energy out of you.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, I try to work hard too. Cause in probably between 11 years old till probably I was 19. I mean, I got some weight on me now, but
I still got it too.
Yeah, but it was just I was lighter than I am now, but I still looked chubbier. You know what I'm saying? My cheeks were chubbier. Everything was chubbier. But I guess 'cause your bones are lighter too when you're younger, right? But when I turned 19, I started working, and that job I had, I mean, it slimmed me up. Within 2 years, I was pretty slim again, because I was slim, up until I was 11. But then from 11 to, like say, 18, 19, I mean, I didn't really change nothing. Just what changed was the amount of physical activity I was doing. I still ate a shit ton.
Yeah, I mean, depending on what job, you could work from home and still gain all the weight too. Yeah. I think a big part of it is even getting outside and taking a half-hour walk is still good.
Any activity.
Yeah.
I mean, but that job, I mean, we probably burn. I mean, we move 60,000 pounds of meat a day, a person.
That'll definitely work the weight off.
Yeah, you imagine how many calories you got to burn to move 60,000 pounds. Even though we might have moved it just from here to here, you know what I'm saying? That's all the motion was, but you still touch 60,000 pounds of weight a day. You did 1,000 boxes, average 60 pounds. And, and that really worked you. And you got a rhythm where it was cardio too. You know what I'm saying? Where you're just huffing and puffing for sometimes an hour straight. Just.
Mm-hmm.
And you got strong. You couldn't when you first started. You couldn't do it for an hour. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got to work yourself
you
up
worked
to
your
it.
way up, yeah. And when you did, learn how to do it, you learned where you could take your little 5 minutes to, catch your breath. Because sometimes you're humping. Yeah. Sometimes you're humping, man. I mean, those were real physical jobs. But I mean, everybody that stayed there lost weight, got fit. And I mean, that job I worked there like almost 5 years. I was pretty fit. It was a warehouse, a meat packing warehouse. But I mean, I got pretty fit. But I had to leave Kansas, man. I got arrested with cocaine one time. They wanted to give me 3 years for possession. Ooh. I was like, nah, I got to get the fuck out of here.
Deuces.
Yeah, I'm like, luckily I got this public defender that he helped me out. And I told him the story. I was like, man, I think it was a legal search and seizure. And he looked at it and he's like, I don't know at first, and then when he called me, he's like, yeah, it does look like a legal search and seizure. So, and I owed some restitution. He's like, the prosecutor told me you owed some restitution. If you just pay it off, I'll drop the charges. But he's like, you need to pay it off today, though.
Oh, damn.
He's like, he said you can pay it off tomorrow, but I want you to pay it off today if you can pay it off today. And I was like, I can pay it off today. I happen to have the money. And when I paid it off and I was done. And after that, I was like, I still stayed in the town for a little bit, but then me and my chick got into a fight. She got into a fight with another girl. We were broken up, and I was blacked out on roofies. But anyways, she got in a fight with that girl, and I remember, like, I didn't hit her or nothing, but I remember like grabbing her and kind of tossing her in the house, and then taking her shit and telling her to fucking leave, and tossing her clothes and shit out of the house, and then she took my car and left, and I went. I was so fucked up, I just went and got in bed. There was people at my house, everything. I don't even know. I guess the cops showed up. There was some dude asleep in the car. They were like, hey, what's up? And then they finally went in the house because the door was like wide open, clothes thrown all over the front yard. They came inside, and I was like, what the fuck? They woke me up, and I'm like, what the fuck y'all doing here? Why you just walking my house? They explained to me, we want to make sure there's nobody hurt in here because all this shit is going on. There was some weed on the headboard, so they arrested me for the weed. And what they'd really gone over there for was because her parents had already called the cops, because I guess she was pretty beat up. Mm-hmm. She had bruises. I mean, I think it's from the fight. I'm saying, when we went to court, she said I hit her, but I was like, man, I didn't hit you. I know I didn't hit you. I couldn't really remember what happened, but I mean, I really never hit her, man. I wouldn't hit a girl. Like one time I slapped her to try to calm her down, but besides that, I never put hands on her. I just didn't know what to do, because sometimes she tripped me out, man. That was I finally left. It was a pretty abusive relationship. She would get fucked up, but anyways, I got arrested, so I left Kansas. Like that was like only like 2 or 3 months after they dropped those charges. I was already planning on leaving. I want to leave her because we already had a lot of problems. I already broke up with her a couple times before, but it's hard to get away from chicks, man.
It is. I've definitely had a few crazy ones in my life.
Yeah, she was. I mean, I loved her though. Just so beautiful. No, I don't know. Sometimes beauty. I mean, she was when she wasn't drunk, she was a good person, Mm-hmm. She was just alcoholic and couldn't.
Yeah, I've dated a girl that was an alcoholic, and she was awesome. But as soon as she started drinking, it was just a new side of her came out. Like you could look at right in her eyes, and you just couldn't even see the person.
Yeah, just gotta get away, man. If you're in an abusive relationship, get away.
Definitely. But Patricio, where can we find you on Instagram or?
Yeah, I got Fat Pat. So it's PATPAT.PATRICIO.THE.COMIC. Fat Pat Patricio the comic on Instagram. On Facebook, I'm just Patricio Aguilera. PATRICIO AGUILERA. And I also have
I'll definitely link everything in the show notes for you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't post much stuff. I told myself when I got to 100 followers, I was going to start posting stuff. I think I'm almost at 300 now.
I heard this. I was listening to a podcast and I heard it was great advice. He said, if you just post it.
Yeah.
Like just post it and
282.
yeah, there you go. Let's get Patricio some more followers.
Yeah. Make it 300. All I need is 18 more.
18.
I'll try to post some stuff.
18.
I'll post a link to this.
Definitely.
Let's see.
And I'll definitely send you a link to this. And I appreciate you coming on, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me see how many Facebook friends I got before we take off. It's a quick number. Get those up too. Join me on Facebook. I don't care. Facebook Live me. Never mind. I don't know how to stick up my friends. Too long. Bye.
Thank you for joining me on another episode of Stoned Out, and I will
fail.
see you all
That
in
was
the
a fail.
next one.
See you on Stoned Out. Bye.